Hi guys, I just wanted to show you this latest journal I made. It's a little different than the other ones I've done. I'm calling this a writer's journal for two reasons. One, it has this quill and ink bottle on the front, so it just made me think of writing, of course. And the second reason is because I made it pretty much a blank journal. Very little decorations, very little pockets and things like that. I just wanted lots and lots of pages, large pages for someone to just write and write and write on. So I'm calling it a writer's journal. I made it from this old book, The Last of the Mohegans. This edition was 1979, and let me tell you, it was a stout edition. It took a while to get the pages out, and it was a really good edition, and you'll see why in just a minute. But anyway, I like the old wornness of the book. You can see where the library pockets used to be on the front. I think that's great. Some of the corners are worn. I did not want to put the corners, the little metal corners on there, because I just like the grunginess and the wornness of it. So anyway, close it with a hair tie and post closure. And something I discovered about these, I made a journal for my daughter and it was pretty thick and the little tie was just really tight. So I just looped two together and made it a longer hair tie. And I figured you can do several of them together. As your journal grows, you can make this longer. So anyway, just threw that in. Let's look at the journal. Okay, I kept the original library pocket that was in it, and the original papers there. And for the spine, I kept the original spine. I just put a piece of chipboard there to kind of stiffen it up, and then I covered it with this old cloth. You can tell a little bit that it was pieced together like for a quilt, and I just liked it. It was thick enough and just old and kind of ruffled it. Ravelly edges, so I liked all that. It just adds to the oldness and the grungy feel. So anyway, I had purchased a book, I think it was at Salvation Army a while back, and it had lots of different line drawings in it, and they had a section on how to make like quill pens and pins out of reeds and how to get the different tips and stuff. So I cut the illustration out and just backed it onto some old book jacket cover paper and made a little journaling card to go in the library pocket. Each signature, and there's three of them, have scrapbook paper on the outsides and then just a variety of blank papers on the inside. And I put just a few pockets. And this is one of them. It's from that same book, and it's just got the different illustrations about ink pens and ink wells and stuff. I put this simple little tag in there, just scrapbook paper with the backing on it, and I stitched around it. All right, here's the beginning of the pages, and a variety of them, and like I said, I tried to keep them blank. So this is graph paper. This is like onion skin typewriter paper. This is just a little piece of like green ledger paper that I coffee dyed. Here's coffee dyed paper, and this is coffee dyed notebook paper with the lines, and I just didn't cut it. I just folded it over so you'd have more room. And in this book were, I believe, 16 illustrations. Some of them were illustrations from earlier editions of the book, Last of the Mohegans, and some of them were pictures of James Fenimore Cooper, who's the author. So since all of these illustrations had blank paper on the back, I included them in here just to be extra journaling spaces. If you're the one that gets this journal and you don't want those, then of course you can just remove them. This pocket I made, it's a Rita Donnelly pocket. It's a flip up so you can write here, and then it makes a pocket as well. I made it from a page from the book, and I wanted to make sure the title of the book showed. This is a journaling card I got in Happy Mail, and I like the colors of it for this journal. And here's another one of the illustrations, and this is of the house that his father built and named the town after him. It's Cooperstown and upstate New York. So Cooperstown, New York I'm thinking that's where the baseball Hall of Fame and all that's at, but I may be wrong about that. This is old ledger paper that Julie sent me a while ago. This is a faux stamp I made out of book page and just a stamp. And this particular stamp is a Tim Holtz stamp, and it's a set of miniatures, and you'll see a couple other ones in here. This is some paper I got from the Just a Buck store just to run through your printer, so it gives you a border, and then you can print whatever you want to on it. And the reason I included it because this reminded me of this so much, and so I thought, well, that goes perfect. And then there's a cut off from that ledger paper because I wasn't going to waste any of it. Coffee dyed paper, and then the green ledger paper that's been coffee dyed. All right, the back side of the signature is the same papers, of course, and they're all blank. lots of writing spaces and a variety of papers to write on. That's what I wanted. And then I included another little pocket just to kind of balance this, pocket here, made from a page of the book, Last of the Mohegans, and it's just one of those faux envelopes that pops down. You got writing space, just to kind of break it up a little. And when I made it, I made sure this little piece of paper here did not cover up the title. And this is just one of the faux stamps I made with a book page and collaging. And that particular stamp, I do not know who made it, and I'm not even sure where it's at right now. I'd show it to you. It's old. I've had it forever. I should have found it before I started filming, but I didn't. So I don't know where that one came from. Anyway, here's another illustration from the book. I just kind of folded it to look like the faux envelope. And I made this to be a belly band, so you can put different things there. Scrap of scrapbook paper. I just did corner punches on it. And then on the flip outs, I included, another thing from the book pages. This was the list of all the illustrations. It's blank on the back. And rest of the papers, the onion skin, the graph paper. And then on the back of each signature, I made a tuck out of a picture from the book that I backed on a green cardstock and just added something to it. This is a journaling card made out of scraps, and that in there. And then just here's a list of all the works of James Fenimore Cooper, everything he's ever written, and the dates they came out. So this journal ends up being kind of like a little nod to James Fenimore Cooper and the Last of the Mohegans, but I made it so that it was, like I said, for writers, just to have lots of room to write. This is, it's not really the title page, but it's just a page that was included. And this is another illustration from that book about sketches, and they were talking about making quills from goose feathers. We have the same papers in each signature, and the same sort of pocket. And another illustration from the book, scrapbook paper with corners punched. And this is the ledger paper and another illustration clipped under it. There's another faux stamp. That's just an illustration I got from some scrapbooking kit. Center of the signature. Another illustration, another belly band and faux envelope for writing. This particular stamp is a Tim Holtz stamp. Another tuck made of illustration from the book. Another illustration from the book. All right, third signatures, pretty much the same. We got a tuck made from an illustration from the book about just sketches, and he's using the pen. Scrapbook paper, a picture from the book. It's of his wife and children. It's onion skin again. Graph paper, copy dye paper. This time the pockets on this side, the same sort of flip. Another one of those illustrations from that book showing the different types of pens. And this is an illustration from Last of the Mohegans, this blank on the back. This is clip, of course. This is the actual title page. And 1979 edition. Let me tell you, it was a tough book to take apart. I think I may have already said that, but it was tough to take apart. And when I was tearing the pages out, those illustrations out, I'm telling you, they didn't want to come out. Another faux stamp made with book page collage, and that's a Tim Holtz stamp. I know there's some a lot of talk around YouTube and stuff about copyright, whether you can use stamps in a project you sell. So people are doing different things, and I'm just trying to acknowledge where I got the stamps from, because I know Tim Holtz is fine with you selling your projects. Another faux envelope, flip out to write on. And this one I decorated with the actual stamp. It says Francis Parkman was an American historian. So I thought, well, it kind of works with this. And here's a picture of James Fenimore Cooper from 1826. Just folded that up to be another faux envelope. And another illustration from the book. The last tuck is a picture of him in old age with another illustration. So I tried not to bulk this up with a bunch of tags and things. It gives you plenty of room to add your own ephemera and whatever you want to add to it, and plenty of room to write. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.